This channel uses AI-generated voices, videos, and images to maintain anonymity, as I am currently involved in ongoing divorce proceedings. The 10 yellow flags you shouldn't ignore. Thinking of marrying a Japanese woman? Watch this first. I ignored these warning signs and I lost my kids, my house, and years of my life. Don't make the same mistake. Marriage is like a puzzle. If you're missing key pieces or forcing the wrong ones together, you're setting yourself up for disaster. I learned this the hard way, and now I want to warn you before it's too late. Here are the 10 yellow flags that, if ignored, could ruin your life. 1. She has no career goals. One of the biggest warning signs is if a woman has no direction in life. No career, no ambitions, just floating from one temporary job to another. A woman who isn't working or who only has vague dreams of what she might want to do someday is not financially independent, which means she's expecting you to be. My experience, when I met my ex, she had a part-time job and only worked a couple of days a week. She would talk about wanting to start her own business, but she never actually did anything about it. It was just words, and I ignored that. Big mistake. 2. She expects you to fund her lifestyle but won't contribute. In the beginning, it's normal to treat your girlfriend to nice dinners or gifts. But pay attention. Does she offer to split expenses, or does she just expect you to pay for everything? If she's keeping up expensive hobbies while leaving you to cover the essentials, you are not her boyfriend. You are her wallet. My experience, I was paying for everything. Her gym membership, volleyball lessons, expensive bags, and shoes. But when I wanted to buy something for myself, like a camera or even just sneakers, she would say it was too expensive. She didn't mind me spending money, as long as it was on her. 3. She has a history of drama in past relationships. If she only has bad things to say about her ex-boyfriends, that's a huge red flag. If every ex was a terrible person and she was always the victim, ask yourself, what happens when she breaks up with you? My experience, she told me all her exes were bad people and had taken advantage of her. She made me feel like I was the first nice guy she had ever met. Looking back, I realized those guys probably just didn't put up with her crap, and she hated them for it. 4. She pressures you to marry quickly. Some Japanese women, especially in their late 20s or early 30s, feel pressure from their family and society to get married as soon as possible. If she pushes for quick marriage, she might be more focused on fulfilling societal expectations than actually building a life with you. My experience, after just a few months of living together, she told me we had to get married because her parents expected it. It wasn't about us. It was about checking a box on her life plan. 5. She has traditional values, but only when they benefit her. In Japan, it's common for men to be the sole provider, while women control the household finances. But watch out, if she expects you to be the sole breadwinner and still demands you split all housework 50-50, that's a one-sided deal. My experience, I worked full-time, did most of the house chores, and yet she complained my job didn't earn enough, even though she wasn't working at all. And when she took over the finances, she called it saving for our future, but it was all my earnings. 6. She doesn't respect your boundaries or independence. Does she let you have your own life? Or does she get jealous and suspicious every time you go out with friends? My experience, once we started living together, she stopped letting me go out with friends. If I stayed out too late, she'd get suspicious, even though I was just with my guy friends. 7. She struggles to get along with your friends. If she doesn't make an effort to get to know your friends, or worse, if she actively avoids them, it's a bad sign. My experience, she barely met my closest friends throughout our entire marriage. She just didn't care. 8. She controls the money before you're even married. In many Japanese marriages, the wife controls the finances and gives the husband a monthly allowance. But if she starts doing this before marriage, you should know it's only going to get worse. 9. She is overly close to her parents and they don't accept you. If her parents disapprove of your relationship, don't assume you can win them over. If you divorce, they will always take her side, especially when it comes to the children. My experience: her parents were racist towards me and looked down upon me and my job. During the divorce, they lied to me, promising I could see my kids if I paid a generous amount of child support, then cut me off completely the moment I signed the papers. 10. She wants to live overseas but hasn't actually done it or refuses to travel to your country. This is a big one, and it depends on what she says about where she wants to live in the future. Some Japanese women say they want to live abroad, but they've never actually done it. If she hasn't lived overseas before, do not marry her until she has experienced it firsthand. Most divorces between foreign men and Japanese women happen abroad because the woman wasn't ready for the challenges of living in another country. On the other hand, if she doesn't want to live abroad at all, she should at least visit your home country and meet your family before marriage. If she refuses to even visit your home country, that's a huge warning sign. If she meets your family but reacts badly, it means she will always put distance between you and them. My experience: my ex talked about moving overseas, but after meeting my family, she got cold feet because she had a bad experience. I should have seen it for what it was, a sign she was never going to adapt. And if she can't adapt, there's a risk that if you have kids abroad, she might abduct them back to Japan, where you'll have no rights. If she hasn't lived abroad, don't rush into marriage. Stay as a couple first, live abroad, and see how she adjusts. If she refuses to visit your country or makes excuses, take that as a sign. You might be building a life where your family is completely excluded. And worst of all, if she decides she wants to go back to Japan after having kids abroad, she can take your children and disappear with no legal consequences. Listen to your mother's instincts. If your mom says something feels off about her, trust that. Mothers are the best judges of character for women. Conclusion, final thoughts. If you see these warning signs, don't ignore them. Love can make you blind, but divorce will make you broke and miserable. The right woman will fit into your life like a missing puzzle piece. If you have to force it, it's not the right fit. So many foreign men make the mistake of marrying the first beautiful girl that comes their way once they start living in Japan. You don't want to be in my position, where you can only look back and feel regret for ignoring all the warning signs. Make smart decisions. Your future depends on it. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, and if you have friends who could benefit from seeing it, make sure you share it with them too. I'll try to answer any questions in the comments below. Thanks for swinging by, JDF. Until next time.